Morning, precious people. We are going to go outside today, and because I promised you that. And we are going to look at what God has put out here for us to enjoy today in my yard. I came home from a trip and I looked outside and so many things are blooming and I want to share them with you. Come on, let's go. First thing I want you to see is my amaryllis. One of you gave me this amaryllis several years ago in one of those wax things, and I pulled the wax off of it after Christmas and I planted it. Look at this. Look at this. Actually, it had this whole set of blooms on this amaryllis. Look at there. There's 6 blooms on there, and then there was another stalk that came up in here, right here, and it bloomed, and then I pulled all the stuff off of it. But it's from the same plant. I cannot believe it, but it happened. All right, this is a rose bush right here that I rooted myself, and it blooms white. Here's the mama plant that I pulled it off of, this one right here. This is a white antique rose. I have no idea what the name of it is. I just don't know, but they're easy to root. Now remember when I told you when you root a rose that you clip off that thing, and all these blooms, and you only leave 2 leaves at the top, 2 or 3. And then make sure that these nodes right here are under the ground. And then I told you in my coffee table book that here's where I root things right here. Right here. I've got verbena rooting right here. I've got Wygeia, which is an old-timey plant rooting right there. There's something I'm rooting. There's some roses. These roses I'm rooting right here, they've already bloomed. They were actually right here. I'll show you. It was beautiful, but it's gone now. See these little bitty dried up flowers? This whole limb right here was solid roses. It's kind of like a Lady Banks rose, but mine is white. This rose right here was given to me by a follower. It was in a little pot, maybe like a 6-inch pot, and I planted it right down there next to this fence. And it is covered, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. I know y'all know it. It's got a girl's name. I just can't think of it right now. Well, look at that. I thought it wasn't going to bloom this year because it kept not blooming. And then all of a sudden it decided it was time, and it bloomed, and it puts out long fronds. Look at this frond right here, that limb. And you can put it up like right here. I can put it on top of this birdhouse up here, just kind of lay it up there like that. Of course, the birds will knock it down, but I've got it up there. You might want to know where we went. I had 3 other girls that went with me. We carried my truck, and we took turns driving. Mainly, Andre and I drove, and then Carol, she drove at the very last from Perry, Florida back to Birmingham. So that's where we all left our vehicles. Everybody met in Birmingham, Alabama, and then we drove together. But anyway, the first place we went was Charleston, South Carolina, and that was to see my granddaughter Bay. And she took us to some great places to eat and took us shopping and historical places, and we just had the best time. But we couldn't stay with her because she has a little apartment with 1 bed. We ain't doing that. We went across the bridge to a place called Mount Pleasant, and we got a hotel, and that had 2 queen beds, and we all just slept, 2 to a bed to save a little money. And so anyway, we stayed with her 2 nights, I think it was, and then we left there and we went to Savannah, Georgia. But on the way, there was this place where we stopped. It had antiques. I forgot what all I bought till I got home last night and undid it. But we went to Savannah, Georgia, and we went to the Riverwalk, and we went to some antique shops, and we went to a bookstore. I bought a book about birds, because I do love birds. But anyway, and we ate out at some great places. We ate out at a place called The Pirate, and we actually ate there twice. We ate at some great places and had some good food, and I never had she crab soup before, so I got that, and it was so good, and we loved it. They had a big buffet, and I was so glad they did, because, you know, when you travel, you can't get those home vegetables like you want, or like I want. I was craving them. And this Pilot place at lunchtime, they have a buffet. So the waitress asked, do y'all want to go through the buffet? Well, Carol said, I'm going to go look at it. So we went up there and looked, and we saw what we wanted. So we got it. They had collards. I fixed a big old pile of collards. They had cornbread. They had butter beans and corn and fried chicken and fried fish and all the stuff I like. So I really enjoyed my lunch. And then this lady took us on a tour of that pirate place. The pirate, yeah. And where the pirates used to stay and sleep upstairs. And they had a bar or whatever you call it there, and all of them got drunk, and they would get those pirates by the arms and legs and drag them through this tunnel and throw them on the boat. They didn't even know what was happening. And then they'd take off the next morning on the ship. The pirates would wake up, and they were already out to sea. I'm telling you. So we did that, and then we left there after a couple of nights, and we went to Perry, Florida. And on the way to Perry, Florida, Georgia, I'm sorry, Perry, Georgia. And on the way to Perry, Georgia, we stopped at that onion farm, and that's where we got a handful of onions to make an onion casserole. That was fun, and this is the first time I'd ever seen an onion place. I mean, it was fantastic. I loved it. Now I'd love to go to Plant City and see their big old onions, the strawberry onions. These were Vidalia that we were looking at. And then we stayed two nights with Carol's daughter and her family, and they had a swimming pool, and that's where I got blistered. They also had a hot tub that was just wonderful on our old knees and joints. We got in that, and we did that, and she cooked for us, and I'm going to show y'all some of those videos. Well, anyway, we had a great time. It was good, but we were all so glad I was to get back home to my little nest in the woods where the Lord planted me. I was glad to see my trees and my plants and where I had manicured. Let's keep looking at plants. See, still I have the ant beds, and they're still active. Hey, when I got back, this was the first thing that caught my eye. This gorgeous rose right here. And I thought to myself, how beautiful. Look at it just swaying in the breeze. Look at the petals and how they're formed around the edges. God really knew what he was doing. All right, over here I have planted some little zinnias right here. Can you see them coming up? There they are. Planted some little zinnias. And right here, I forgot what you call that, but I got a lot of those. And I planted zinnias all in this tall pot right here. Let me get back where you can see. There you go. There you go. That's a tall pot. It has a hole in the bottom for drainage. I don't know who put it in. It wasn't me. And so I've got zinnias there. This is a wild plant. Some people call it Indian paint. A paintbrush, I believe, Indian paintbrush. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it comes back every year. Thank goodness it's a perennial. I've got some roses I'm trying to root in that. And my rosemary bush looks good. It's huge. Then I bought these. I call them periwinkles, but some people call them something else. But I bought them just for color, and this dirt is dry as a bone down here. I've got to water these today for sure. Here's some verbena, and this is supposed to be, I got this at Lowe's, and it's supposed to be a perennial, meaning it comes back every year. That's the kind of plants I like, the ones that come back every year. Carol gave me these years ago. It's some kind of lily. Aren't they pretty? Just blooming so pretty. And I had my first bloom on my on this thing. It's a clematis. It was a big purple one, but I see it's gone. Oh, and I have another bloom over here. Look at this. This rose bush right here, it hardly ever blooms. It's rare that it has a bloom, but I see two. I see a bud. I got this at Petals from the Past, right outside Jemison, Alabama. There's it. It's almost like a little cabbage rose. It's pretty. Let me go over here and look at this other one. Yes, that's a pretty little rose. Real pretty. And they got two over here on this one. Well, I guess it decided it was going to bloom this year. Look at that. Y'all, I've got on a sweatshirt and sweatpants this morning because it is so cold in Alabama. I just don't know what in the world's going on. All right, here's a verbena. You know, I showed you the purple one. Well, here's the pink. And it's supposed to be a perennial too. And it's about dying. Look at that. You know why? Because it's dry in there. It needs water. I'm fixing to turn it on right now in just a minute. As soon as I get through talking to y'all. Now right here is some more purple. This is not the same as the other verbena. This is from last year that I rooted. And I've been keeping it alive. This is a potato plant that I just put a potato in there to see what it would do. I thought my fig tree had died, but I got it coming back. Of course, I'll probably be dead and gone before that thing makes a fig. Okay, let's walk out here to, I still need to burn my burn pile over there, but it's too windy today for me to do it. These coming up, and they're coming up from plants from last year, are Rebeckia. They have the big yellow bloom that looks like a daisy looking thing. And this is more verbena that I have rooted. One of you sent me another amaryllis this year, and I'm so proud of it, and it's growing. And then another person sent me another one, and I planted it. It's still little, but it's gonna make it. And then one of you sent me these canna lilies, and I planted them, and look how pretty. Thank y'all so much for all you do for me. I appreciate it. I always plant what you send me. All right, right here, some more of those little periwinkles that I call them. And in this pot. Now, the reason that stick is sticking up in there, remember the other day I told you the deer were eating everything? I took wedding netting and just laid it over the top of this thing so they wouldn't get it. I had a man here in Andalusia that gave me some little onion sets, and I planted them here, and the deer stomped them around, but they're doing good now. And right here, these are doing great. Look at those little onion sets. And they're growing, and so what I'm going to do is pull them up. You're supposed to pull them up, let them dry out, then plant them again. Got a big ant bed right beside it. I even show you this part. This is my junk part right here. This is my junk area. These are pots and stuff that I have broken, but I'm going to do something with them. And this is my rooting bed, which I have some camellias rooting in there. And here's one that's rooting, and all this is weeds. These are weeds that I should take to Hannah's chickens, but I'm not going to today. But when you're rooting a camellia, all you want in there is just 2 leaves and the stem. You want it to be about at least 8 inches long. Put it down in your dirt, keep it moist, and there's a bunch of them. These are supposed to be white right here. And then I just keep all these pots and pans back here for me to mix dirt and play. I like to play in the dirt like I do. We're going to go to the front yard now. I'm going to show you what's going on out here. This is my Weigelia plant, and it's got vines in it that I've got to cut out. But this blooms pink, right after the azaleas quit blooming, my Wygelia blooms, and it's pretty. It has little pink blooms that go all the way up the stem. It doesn't look like an azalea. It's totally different. This is my cherry tree that Dallas and Anna gave me, and it's doing really good. It had 2 blooms on it this year up there. I was excited that it did. And then here is the bed that I hadn't really got anything in yet. Some of you sent me some seeds, which I planted in here. And that white stuff you see is eggshells. But one of you sent me a seed of these, but this is the only one I had to come up. And I forgot what you call it, so please tell me. I want to save the seeds off of it. It's just beautiful. Is it larkspur? I'm kind of thinking that that's coming to my mind, but I'm not really sure yet what it is. But I did plant it. And these right here, that's that same thing that I told you comes back every year, the Rebecca. And I've got one zinnia coming up in there. This has got a lot of horse manure in this one. These are tiger lily plants. So I really don't have much in this bed yet. I'm going to find my seeds and plant some more and get it watered real good, and maybe it'll come up. I see a bunch of grass I need to get in there and pull out. This right beside them is an oak leaf hydrangea. It is native to South Alabama, and it will have big white blooms on it. That's called an oak leaf hydrangea. See how the leaf looks? Let me pull it off and let you see. Looks like an oak leaf, like an oak tree. See there at the leaf? When I was little, we would put that down on a piece of paper like that. I mean, on the table. Put the paper over it and rub your crayon. Pull all the paper off your crayon and rub it on that piece of paper, and you get the imprint of a leaf. And you get the veins and everything in that leaf. Look at the edge, how beautiful. I am always amazed at creation. I am totally amazed. I love it, and I thank the Lord for it. Last night or yesterday afternoon when I got home, one of the first things I did was to thank the Lord for where He planted me. I am so happy to be in South Alabama. That's not going to stay in my ear. I need a rose. In South Alabama, I'm so thankful for every tree that He's put in my yard. I'm thankful for every leaf that falls. I'm thankful for these little wind chimes. Listen to them. I've got them in the tree. And they're singing me a song this morning. I'm even thankful for this little thing right here, spider web. You know, I think sometimes we get down on ourselves and get down on the situation, but y'all please look around and look at what God has created for us on earth. And I just can't imagine what heaven's gonna be like, because this is so gorgeous to me out here. Even the spots of dirt where the grass won't grow. I'm thankful. I am so thankful for it, and I am thankful to be alive and to get to enjoy all of what He has put right before me. And you people that have grandchildren and children that you adore, and I know you do, that's a blessing too. I mean, this just blessings all around us. And you know, Scripture tells us to find the good and to meditate on the good and not what's going wrong with it. All right, here's a pot. I think this is phlox. It blooms purple, pinkish purple in the summer, and it comes back every year, and that whole pot is full of it, and it roots really easy. I hope y'all will try the rooting, because one of you gave me this right here. It is a what do you call them? I'll think of it in a minute. I got 3 of them in the pot. They're about being taken over by these things. This is blooming yellow right here in this pot. That's called sedum. And there's another one. Oh, it's chrysanthemums. There it is. It's chrysanthemums. Y'all gave it to me. I hadn't seen the bloom yet because it hasn't bloomed. You just gave it to me last year. But this is sedum right here. And it blooms yellow. And you leave it in the pot all year. It's green in the winter too. Now this, it's not supposed to be coming up in there, but accidentally got in there. That's oxalis is what we call it in the South. There must be two kinds because that one's a lot smaller than this one. It blooms purple in the afternoon. And I need to cut my boxwoods back. They're too tall. They're almost coming up over the porch. Let's walk out here and look. Okay, out here I've got, these are daylilies right here. And it looks like they're putting lots of buds up. These are what call those ever bloomers. I mean, they bloom all summer long. These kind of daylilies where the other ones don't. But these are a daylily. And then this thing right here, it's a tractor part that Walt threw away, and I painted it, made me a pot. It doesn't have a bottom in it. It's just a round thing. And I thought, Lord, I'd make a pot out of that. And so in here, I've got all kind of stuff coming up in it. It'll be really pretty. And here's my mama's favorite. This is sweet shrub. Is what that's called, sweet shrub. And it smells real good, and they grow wild in Alabama. I don't know about all over, but they do. And you could be walking through the woods, and you could smell them. The only thing bad about these is when they multiply, I only had one plant. And I want you to look at how many plants I've got. See all those plants? They're all sweet shrub. They grow under the ground and then just shoot up. Now, I love them, don't get me wrong, but I wish they didn't do that. Because that's me having to constantly work on it. So, all right, let's walk over here and I'll show you what doesn't look good. I mean, y'all see the good, but I want you to see the bad too. I can't keep up with everything. This bicycle has had it. I've been in the looking out for me another bicycle. The wheel is not even on that thing. It's, I've just got it propped up. See, there's where it's supposed to be. It's just sitting there. And my dirt's dried out, looking terrible. I need to do both of these baskets over again. And I need a new bike. I'll have to keep looking for one. I cut all my azaleas down, or had it done. I had a big guy that came out and helped me on the sides of my driveway because they were so big that it was scratching the truck when I went by. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See there? I just cut them all back. And you're supposed to cut azaleas back no later than 2 weeks after they bloom. So as soon as they get through blooming, that's when you cut them back. Because if you cut them back sooner than that, you're cutting off next year's blooms. Right here, it's out of water, but I always keep water in here for the birds. But I've been gone a week, so it all dried up. And this is a ground cover that's going to hang over everything, and there's some sedum in it. I planted some bulbs in it, but they didn't do too good. And of course, I've got my Old Glory flying. I love to see a flag flying in the breeze. And then I've got to put more water in here. I got a pump that it pulls water over that. All right, here's our wheelbarrow. It's still hanging in there. It's about had it. When I go to yard sales, I always look for wheelbarrows, but I hadn't seen one lately. All right, here's my wheelbarrow. 2 of the plants in it came back this year. It was this grass that I bought. It's pretty. And my tractor seat. This is called a tractor seat. And it came back. They're perennials. Hannah's came back too. These in the front don't come back. That's caladiums. And these are, salvia. I mean, not salvia. I'll think of that in a minute. Lord, it's too many plants. And here's some more of that other that I showed you in the front. This had these are supposed to do like this. This was daffodils, but you know, they are green for a while and then they die back. And so they'll bloom next year. I need to plant them in the dirt. All right, so these are just different plants out here. Just coming up. Just different little ones that I've got. I planted this at the top of a pumpkin right here. And then over here, the fish are right here. I need to feed them this morning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. They think I got some food. They'll come back out here in a minute. This is one of those Texas flowers that they gave me, but it did its due, and now I need to put it in the dirt. They said to let it go to seed, and there's the seed right there. I'm going to leave it here and just keep it watered till the seed makes. There's another seed. Texas bluebonnets. Here is a pot that didn't have anything in it. 2 pots, actually. So I just broke off some azalea because I needed something in it and I didn't have anything. And I put the azaleas in there about maybe 3 weeks ago or something like that, maybe 4. And I'm sure it's rooting because it's still green and it's growing. And here's a canna that's got the dark purple leaves. I think that's pretty. It'll bloom red later on. And then over here, we've got our hen and biddy. It's doing good. And right up here, that's not supposed to be up there. That is the Virginia creeper. And I'm telling you, it is creeping everywhere. Look at that. I got to pull it down. It'll cover this whole part. It's one of my potted plants that was inside all winter, and I brought it out. And this was given to me. And I made me a wreath. Y'all saw it in the coffee table book. I had pine cones on it. I showed you that, the coffee table book. I like to make my own wreaths, and I like this little sticky part sticking out. These are all bridal wreaths that I rooted last year. I stuck something back here to root. I don't know if it did or not. It doesn't look like it is, but the leaves on the bottom, they'll be yellow. You just pinch them off, and I bet it will root. Let me feel of it. It's still got a little water in it. All right, y'all. Show you this because the other one in the backyard wasn't doing as good. Here's your Indian paintbrush right there. And I don't know if it comes back from seed or under the ground, but I know that it comes back. This is poison oak right there. Do you see those 3 leaves on it? I've got a bunch of it in this bed right here. So I dare not get in it because it's going to cover me up. There's an oak tree coming up that I don't want. There's a huge oak tree. I'm telling you, the squirrels plant the acorns and then they come up. Here's my bed of amaryllis, and a gentleman gave me these. He sent me a bunch of bulbs, and I planted them right here. And this year, several of them bloomed, but I have several that did not bloom yet. Well, anyway, when I got back from my trip, I was so glad to get out in the yard and do some things. First thing I'm going to do this morning, well, I've already had a breakfast. I had a boiled egg and a sweet potato. You think, oh, Brenda, what in the world? Well, it was good. I cut up the sweet potato in cubes. I boiled it and threw the egg in the water with the sweet potatoes and boiled it in with the sweet potatoes. And that's what I had for breakfast with, I ate a square of dark chocolate and a cup of coffee. That's what I've had. And I've got to pay some bills because while I was gone, the mailman brought me a bunch, so I'll get in there this afternoon to do that. I don't want to do it in the morning. You don't want to spoil your morning by doing that. And anyway, so we left Perry, Georgia, and we went to Birmingham, and everybody got their own cars, and everybody went home. So I had to drive about 3.5 hours from Birmingham to South Alabama. And Andre lives in Fairhope, so she had to drive further than me. She had to probably drive 4 hours. And Carol didn't have far to drive. She drove just to Tuscaloosa, which is about 40 minutes or something like that. And Pam lives in Birmingham, so she didn't have to drive at all. But so that's what we did. So I would encourage you to do some things with your girlfriends, or you guys get together, do a fishing trip or whatever. God's put so many things out there for us to see, and you're going to see some beautiful towns and some great antique shops and eat some different foods. But I can tell you this. You know, these people say, I didn't want to leave, like where they go to or to visit, they didn't want to leave. I'm not like one of those people. I am so glad to be back home when I get back home. I love home, and I'm so thankful for where I live and my little stuff that I have, my little lawn chair and my little dishes, and you know, I think we get attached to it. But I'm thankful that the Lord looked out after us at every meal. I think we prayed for the Lord to take care of us and look out after us, and He did. And the onion field we went to, that was an accident. Well, it was an accident. We stopped to get gas at a gas station, and they had onions in bags. I forgot what town. Swainsville? Is that where we were? Yeah. Swainsville, I believe. They had onions in bags. And so Carol, they went in. I stayed in the truck. And they went in, and she met a man in there that had an onion field. They got to talking, and he said, just follow me. I'll take you my field, let you look at it. He didn't actually, he rented the land out to a farmer, but it was his land. But anyway, he showed us around, and it was amazing. And they pick all those up by hand, too. They pull them up and lay them out, and they come back and pick them up after so many days so the onion can dry out. And somebody asked me in the text, in the comments, because I always read as many comments as I can, they asked me, do you have to let them dry out before you use them? And the answer is no, you do not. The reason they let them dry out is because they are going to pick them all up. They'll be all in a bundle, and they don't want them touching each other and getting the mold or wet on them. And so if they're dried out, they transfer better to the grocery stores and last better if you do that. So that's why they do it. I don't know what questions y'all have for me today about anything. I'm glad to be home, and I'm glad I'm back. And I'm going to show y'all another video tomorrow that we did in Perry, Georgia. It's called Chicken Balls. I'll either show it tomorrow or the next day. I don't know when. But anyway, and I've got some pictures to show you of us in the swimming pool with our noodle. We put it up under our arm to hold us up. But we got a lot of good exercise, and y'all could tell my face is better today. I got so blistered on it, but it is better today, and the red's about gone. Look at that breeze. I want you to look. You see that? That's what I love. Look at that. How peaceful is that? I've always loved the wind. It's one of my favorite things in life is the wind. Right, look at it. That's a big oak tree I have. Just end on that. God sent the wind to make me feel good. I love breeze. It's just wonderful to sit out and feel it. Y'all have a great day, and I hope something is blooming in your yard. I didn't even show y'all my pink bush over there. It's a Lauropetalum. It's blooming too. It's about done, though. It's not as pretty as it was. Have a great day. Have a good lunch and a good breakfast. And Maybe you want to eat you a sweet potato for breakfast. Hey, don't knock it till you try it. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.